dial into Koori Country Connection. That was Walk With Me Sister, Songs of Survival. And now we're handing you over to the mighty Miranda on the veranda and her special guest, Sharon. Take it away.
Oh, good morning, Sharon, and thank you very much for being on the program. Look, I trawled through some old notes that I've got from my ADOSH days. Now, I think that services with women are very important, and you do some very important work with Koori women. Do you think you can shed a little bit of light with cultural safety issues, diversity, pro rata, keeping personal information respected, etc.?
Oh, look, yes, I've worked in women's refuges for probably 30 years now. I'm no longer working in women's refuges at the moment, but, the Koori sisters that have come through these services have always been a focus of attention, to make sure that they feel that there's no barriers to coming into services to get the help, which we all know it's very hard to admit that there's a problem in your relationship, and that that reaching out is one of the most important things to do. And it's very, very important that women feel that when they're at that point of wanting to make a change or to try and break free from the cycle of violence, that there's services out there that can help. So that's what I've been involved in for the past 30 years. But currently what I'm doing is leading a choir for women who've experienced or escaped domestic violence and past abuse in their life, to find a safe place just to be, join with their sisters, as you heard in that last song, just to walk the journey together in a very creative way that allows a space where you don't necessarily have to talk about what's happened. Everybody acknowledges that they're all there for the same reason and support one another.
Yes. Now, I know that a lot of topics among women who have escaped domestic violence or some sort of abusive relationship have very sensitive, confidential issues, and that mostly, that they are respected, but can you shed a little bit of light on a subject that if people don't know what they're doing with a person's confidentiality, don't touch it?
Well, look, all I can talk about is my experience from the services that I work with. But there's very strict and rigid protocols and policies around making sure that people's confidentiality and privacy is maintained at every step of the way. I mean, it's vital. Women's sense of safety, well-being, and their lives are often at stake in regards to making sure that you don't offhandedly share some information about somebody who's come through the doors. I think in the Koori community, we might bump into somebody and say, how's so-and-so going, and it's very easy to inadvertently breach somebody's confidentiality.
Oh,
so anybody
for sure.
who works in those kind of services knows that is vital, absolutely vital. But on top of that, I suppose we've got the history of the stolen generations and the intervention by welfare, and our Koori sisters are very sensitive about that, and rightly so. So it's really important that everybody feels like that they're not just their confidentiality and privacy is maintained, but that there's an understanding of the cultural context of the government's role in Koori women's lives,
yes,
and how that's affected them historically. So, that's something that really needs to be considered very, very very, very strongly and taken absolutely seriously by every worker.
Oh, look, absolutely it does. Probably around this time last year, if not a couple of months beforehand, 12 months ago, I went to the legal aid service for Aboriginals in Newcastle. It was a cut lunch and a picnic getting there. But, look, I think the point that we need to get across is that the aim to provide the best legal court representation according to each matter with anyone in particular that's in welfare, and we need to really have a very much strong look on our First Nation people as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's vital. It's, to be able to move forward with confidence that whoever you're approaching for help is going to honour that part of things is really vital.
Now, also, in my notes, a built-in database with all decisions from criminal law of each Australian which has Aboriginality. Now, look, we can go across to say Rottnest Island, which is way over Western Australia. We can go to what is it, Palm Island, Paul?
Palm Island.
Yeah, we can safely say Palm Island in Sydney, where a lot of our Indigenous friends come down and do some busking around about Christmas there. It seems that the government is a bit slippery, slidey with the call for the change of the Constitution. Do you think that people who are your consumers, your friends, your relatives, do you think that a change in the Constitution would lighten a few things up in society?
Oh, look, I actually don't think that I'm qualified to answer that question, being a non-Indigenous person myself. I think that it's something that's really, really important that is absolutely addressed as a matter of urgency. But I'm always loath to speak on behalf of my Koori sisters. So,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, sorry.
Yeah, look, I have my own personal opinions about it, and I think that, the acknowledgement in the Constitution is vital. But I wouldn't ever presume to know how important that was, and, I think it'd be really great if we could get one of our, particularly one of our Koori sisters that you might have met at where we first met,
yes,
to, come on and actually comment on that, because, it's their voices.
That would be
really,
great
really
if
vital.
we could do that. Yeah. I've yet to get in contact with Ken Wyatt from Canberra. I will be making some phone calls to his office and addressing that issue. But moving right along, now getting services involved with more awareness of alcohol and other drug issues. I know that there's a network of various services around. Just how foolproof is the system?
Sorry, I missed that last part of the question. Just
how foolproof is the system?
Look, I don't think any system. When we're talking systems, there's no such thing as foolproof. There's always a lack of resources, and I think that's our major problem. Is that that there are services around, but they're at absolute capacity.
Yes, I do know that.
I haven't worked in the field now for the last 18 months or so.
Yes.
But I know when I left working in refuges, at the point where people identify, that they need the assistance, it's often not forthcoming, and there's so many hoops that you have to jump through just to get some assistance. That
yes.
We're always dealing with a resource problem. The fact that that those services are there, but are they adequately funded, and are they able to take in the numbers of people who are at the point of wanting to make change in their life?
Oh, for sure. Look, and also I think with the NDIS thing happening too.
There's a whole nother.
There's a whole nother ball game, isn't there? Yeah, for sure.
Whereas before services were available, at the stage of presentation, and now you've got this whole application process, and if the funding's run out, then services just aren't delivered, and don't get me onto that one.
Yeah. I think there's a few people running around feeling that one too. Now, this also includes cultural and religious beliefs, interpreters for each applicant if required.
Sorry?
Your service includes cultural and religious beliefs, interpreters for each applicant if required.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's built into or as I said, there's strict protocols and policies, and they're currently being reviewed to make sure that each service actually comes up to a standard that is met by every service. Not just Aboriginal specific services, not just mainstream services, and not just specialist services. That across the board that those kind of standards are inbuilt and there's an expectation that you present at any of those services, and those things will be available to each client who presents for support.
For sure. Okay, so we're helping to build a standard to be able to grow with these services. And I think a lot of media has a lot to answer for with throwing themselves out at you over the television. So it gets under your skin that you must buy this, you must buy that, and by the end of the day you're so haggard you think, I'm going to turn that thing off. The old man comes home, has a couple of beers, you're fed up with what's blurting out at the television, and it's the same old story. He has a couple of drinks, starts whacking you around, I think the media need to tone their act down.
Oh, look, that all sections of society have got a role to play in how women are treated, and how we respond to the situation when violence and abuse happens in the home. I don't think that we could probably spend 6 hours talking about how.
I could go on forever.
Society affects people's views of violence against women, but I think that there's a whole lot of factors that come into it, but the bottom line is that no woman deserves to be hit, no matter what they've
absolutely
done.
No, that's right.
That's the bottom line that we can't ever escape from. It doesn't matter what I've said, what I've done. As a woman, nobody deserves to be hit.
Yeah, well, that's it. But, I think also that the big thing is being awake up to the perpetrators. If the old man or yourself aren't awake up to the perpetrators, before you know it, you're caught in a tangled web that can potentially be quite violent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying to the guys, treat your woman as the jewel of your crown. Treat your family. They're the jewel of your crown.
That's right.
Man has no right to lift his hand to his love. Don't touch the women. I've written a song which but it's truthful. It's about when my father used to beat me mama, and there I'd see her in the mirror. healing the wounds and sewing up at clothes and all of this sort of thing.
As you know from your experience, that we, for a long while, we thought that children just, were silent witnesses to these events in their lives, and that, we've come to understand that a child who sees violence is actually experiencing the violence.
Yeah.
Or the aftermath of it. That we thought, for a while there, he was a good father, he never hit the kids, but any man who hits a child's mother, the child is affected by that. That's their mother that's happening to.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate.
So that has a violent, that's as good as hitting a child.
See, and I don't mean to jump in on your
no, you're right.
Your interview, but Tom, Dad was from the war, and he'd just go berserker because in the Second World War there was no counselling after the war.
That's right, but the first step now, particularly today, is for a man to admit he's got a problem, regardless of what he feels caused the problem. The solution should never be to raise his hand to his wife and family, or his partner and his family.
That's true.
And once you get to a point where you can acknowledge there's a problem, then back in the days after the war, you're right. There wasn't those services out there, or there wasn't anywhere somebody could go and talk about these triggers in them. But they're there now. We need to take responsibility.
Yes, it's come around. I've just got to say that in defence of my poppy, and I'm going to shut up in a second, but he was a 17-year-old boy who went to and signed in up underage and went to Borneo, and then saw all of that and was part of it, and then they took him to New Guinea with his brother, and his brother.
And so what he came back with was what we would now refer to as post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Definitely.
Definitely. I think they used to call it war neuroses, or but the thing is, though, that they weren't treated for that, for their own wounds, their own psychological and mental wounds.
No one knew.
Yeah, nobody knew how to address it. Today there's services out there, and we understand the impacts that post-traumatic stress has on people, and we can address that in some way, shape, or form. But creating another generation of victims of violence is not the way.
No, it's not. I'll just say, in all honesty, there, my father has an Order of Australia. He's a returned Korean War vet. He was helping vets with battle fatigue, war stuff, all that sort of thing. He's retired now, but that was the type of service that he was offering at, I think it was Concord Repat.
Yeah.
That was quite so. He was in that job for about 20 years or so before he retired of bad health himself. But look, I would say to anyone that if you need help, please Google your phone, Beyond Blue, Lifeline. There's the salvos, there's all those sort of services that will be able to direct you in the right way.
That's right, and the first step is reaching out and actually voicing. Speak to anybody, and that will listen until you get the help that's needed.
Oh, exactly. Look, I do support work down at the Newtown Mission. And if I see something a little bit out of character, I'll pull them aside and say, hey, do you want to talk about it? And it might be something very deep, or it might be something very simple. But I sit down and I listen, and if I feel that they may need a little bit of advice, if I can give it to them, I will. If not, I'll talk it over with someone else so that in the office. So,
and that's why I've worked with primarily and with women for the last 30 years who have been the victims of abuse within the family home, and that's why, even though I'm not working in refuges anymore, that I continue to provide a place for women who have had these past experiences to come along and heal from it. It takes a long, long while to heal from these kinds of wounds. You don't see the injuries on the outside, but they're carrying them on the inside. And we found one of the best ways. I've conducted all sorts of groups over the years for women, domestic violence support groups and follow-up groups after women have left refuge and found been housed in independent housing in the community, and they're getting their support. We've run all sorts of groups to try and support them with how they recover from sometimes a lifetime of abuse. But funnily enough, the one that seems to have been the longest running is this choir for these women. And so the SOS Women's Choir, we call it, Singing Out Strong Women's Choir.
Yes.
Is just such a wonderful way to be able to move forward and move beyond the abuse.
Oh, look, it's very therapeutic. It's very entertaining. It's thought-provoking. It's all those things. It's culturally aware. It's got some fabulous song selections. The girls, when I saw them, they really did a brilliant job, and we're really hoping to get them in the studio.
We would really love to. I'm sure the girls are probably listening right now. They would love to come in to the station and talk a little bit more about how music has helped them to move forward with their lives. And the other thing is that it's just sheer good fun. You don't have to always be wading through the pain in your life. We need to lighten up and see that, this world is a wonderful place to be in.
It is a wonderful place. And we want to thank you, Sharon, for you and those girls, for their songs and the music, the songs of survival, SOS. I love it. And look, we just thank you for putting our women back together. And loving them. There's lots of men that love our women, and I mean not lust.
I know what you mean.
I mean love women like my sisters, and that we've grown in maturity. Everything isn't sex, and it is so important to understand woman, because man makes a donation, but woman birthed all of the nations.
That's right.
So if you get together, the men don't stand a chance, girls.
That's true. That's it. And the sisterhood is strong. That's the thing. We can support one another, and this domestic violence. Domestic and family violence is a huge problem. But what we have to sort of sometimes take a step back, particularly those of us who've worked in it for as long as I have, is to remember that this isn't the whole world. This isn't all men. It is a huge problem. I'm not denying that at all. But to nurture the goodness in our men. And to inspire the women to be strong, so that when something isn't okay for them, they have the strength to stand up and say, I'm not going to take this, and get some help or walk away from it. So, what we're doing is trying to build resilience and strength, and look at the good parts of lives, and the fact that the overwhelming majority of people don't live with violence.
No, that's true.
And it's sad for those who do, but we also have to, we have to bring on new generations of boys and girls who don't look at that as normal for their life.
Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for your words. We're going to put on, there's a song that Johnny Huckle does, when the power of love defeats the love of power. I'm just going to put him on. The world will be a better place.
I met Uncle Johnny Huckle at NAIDOC Week.
He's a funny guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look, and I'd like to invite the listeners, if they're interested, that we're launching our CD, Songs of Survival. I know it's out in the suburbs, but at the Henry Lawson Club. I think it's called the Henry Sports Club now, out at Warrington on the 14th of August on a Wednesday evening. It'll be a great night, and we'd love to see some of your listeners and you two there. That would be great.
So what is it called? The Henry?
That's the Henry Sports Club at Warrington.
Sports Club. I'm just going to write it down so we can do this next week, and we can ask Miranda and the Veranda to take care of the dates and keep on running it every week,
Okay.
2 or 3 times.
I can send you a flyer and with all that information on it, so that you can
thank you, Sharon. That's great.
Know that we've got that happening.
It's on the 14th of what?
14th of August. It's a Wednesday evening. Doors open at 7.
And the cost?
Sorry, it's free. It's a free event. Everybody's welcome.
Cool.
Free event. Boy. Well, we are invite all the men and all of the women, and we're not going hard because not all of our men are bad either. But
that's what I was trying to say. Exactly.
We're saying on those, you've got to realise your problem. You've got to admit. You've got to. And it took some time for me to admit to that I needed help. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that brings a family back together.
And you know what? That's true courage.
And proves leadership.
Absolutely. And we need more men like you to be out there championing the cause for those who are still struggling.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you. We've got to go now because we're getting a bit of a queue up in here. They're banking up.
All right, then. Oh, it's been wonderful being on, and we look forward to bringing some of the women from the choir into the station and having a yarn about it.
Yeah, you're going to bring guitars and sing, or you're going to do the record?
Look, we could sing you a song if that's what you want.
We love live stuff. We'll
cram them all into your studio. And we'll sing
fantastic.
Yeah, and then we'll get Miranda on the veranda to orchestrate. She can carry the baton.
She can take over being the conductor. And
I was watching that. That was very clever. I don't know if I could properly copy it without lessons, but I watched it in awe.
Well, just use a pencil or a feather duster. A feather duster will get some intention.
Have her first lesson.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharon.
Chatting with you both.
Okay, have a great weekend, Sharon.
And we're going to give you this. This is what we do here. You ready? You ready? We get near the microphone. Get ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hug, 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 hug. That's a big hug, 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 hug. Hug, hug, hug. And all the girls, that's a big hug, hug, hug.
I'm sure that they'll be listening.
See you later. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. It's 93.7. We got Johnny Huckle coming in with When the Power of Love Defeats the Love of